Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Y'all, I am feeling so much better. Oh my goodness, listen. Honey, I had to get back home down out of the mountains because them mountains was trying to do me in. But I'm feeling so much better. I thank you all so much for just, wishing me well and your prayers. But look, y'all, I feel better. And look, I was in the mood for a pound cake. It's been a minute, right? Ooh, it's been a minute. So we're gonna do this cream cheese cherry almond pound cake. And I'm starting with my cream cheese now because y'all know I will forget to put it in the bowl. So that was 8 ounces of cream cheese. And I think we're just gonna do, like a cherry almond glaze. Y'all know I'm a glaze girl, so I don't be wanting to do all that icing for the most part. So that was 8 ounces of cream cheese. We have, this is 1/4 teaspoon of salt, y'all. I'm gonna go on and add my salt as well. That was 1/4 teaspoon of salt, okay? I have 3 cups of Swans Down cake flour. I've not used Swans Down in a minute either, so I said we're using this today. This is sifted. It comes pre-sifted when you purchase it in the box. It's already pre-sifted, but I always sift it again for the most part, most of the time. So I did sift it one more time. So this is 3 ounces of the Swans Down cake flour. I have 3 cups of sugar. I have 3 sticks of unsalted room temperature butter. Then we have 6 large eggs that are also room temperature. I'll be adding some of this cherry pie filling, or it's a fruit filling, okay? And I won't need all of this, but I will be using some of this. And then we have our pure almond here. I'm gonna add like 1 teaspoon, or maybe a little bit more, but at least 1 teaspoon of the pure almond. And I'm also gonna add a little bit of my Creme Bouquet just because I want to. It's not necessary at all, totally not necessary. You can do some almond and some vanilla if you want to, but I usually get this from I always get this from my cake supplier that's here in my city. People say, Miss Donna, what does it taste like? It tastes like bakery in a bottle to me. That's the only way I know how to describe it. I really, really like it. A lot of people like it, but then you have some people that don't care for it. So to each its own. That's why we celebrate our differences, okay? Whatever you like. Now, if by chance I have forgotten something, it's going to be, all of the ingredients will be listed in the description box below, okay? I'm adding my 3 sticks of butter. Of course, I have thoroughly washed my hands. Don't be in the kitchen with nasty hands, because y'all, that's just nasty. That's real nasty. Don't do that, okay? Wash your hands thoroughly. Using some hot water, some warm water, and soap. Wash them real good, okay? All right. So we're going to add these 3 sticks of butter. My oven is preheated to 325 degrees. And this cake will have to bake at least 1 hour and 15 minutes. It will might have to bake a little bit longer than that, but we're gonna start with the 1 hour and 15 minutes at least, okay? And this is what we're getting ready to do. So I'm going to turn on my mixer, and when I turn it on, I'm just gonna mix up this butter and cream cheese and that salt for a few seconds because I want everything to get combined, okay? Once I get all of that mixed up, I'm probably going to mix maybe for about To get everything mixed up, I'm going to mix maybe about 10-15 seconds or so. And then I'm going to slowly start adding my 3 cups of sugar. Okay? Now what I'm going to do once I get all this sugar added, I'm going to cream the cream cheese, the butter, and the sugar until it becomes light and fluffy. Now, once I get through with that creaming, I'm going to stop my mixer and I'm going to come back and show you exactly what I mean when I say light and fluffy, okay? I also want to go on and add my extracts too. This is the almond, about a teaspoon of almond, a little bit of my Creme Bouquet. And I'm just doing this in the beginning because it's going to allow all of my extracts to be thoroughly incorporated throughout the entire mixing process and not just at the end, you know. But if you want to add yours later, that's fine too. So we have our butter, our cream cheese, our salt, and our extracts. And we're getting ready to get this mixed up and creamed up. And once we get everything all creamed, I'm going to come back and show you exactly what light and fluffy should look like. Now you guys, when I cream for at least 10 minutes. You can't rush this process, okay? You cannot rush this process. During this creaming process, I'm also going to stop and scrape down the sides of my bowl, because you'll realize that your sugar and butter and everything, it'll start collecting on the sides of your bowl. And if it's up here on the sides of your bowl, honey, it's not getting creamed good. So I'll stop at least a couple of times and take my spatula and scrape down the sides of the bowl. I do cream on high, so this mixer will be set on about 8. And also the information about this mixer is in the description box below as well. Okay, so let's start getting this creamed up, and then I'll stop and come back and let you see what light and fluffy looks like. We are thoroughly creamed. Look how light and fluffy that is. It almost looks like whipped cream. You see how that looks? So like I say, don't skimp on creaming your butter and sugar. Alright? It makes a difference, okay? So now we're going to add our eggs one at a time. And when I add my eggs, I mix only a few seconds, long enough for that yolk to break up and kind of disappear. So that only takes a few seconds, and I'll add them one by one. Once my eggs are added, you'll notice I'm going to turn the mixer down to low, because now it's time to start adding the flour. You do not want to overmix. I cannot stress that enough. Make sure you turn your mixer down on low. This one is usually on about 2, 1.5, 2. Do not overmix. It can cause your cake to fall. It can cause your cake to be gummy and have those streaks in it. And sometimes it's just hard. I oftentimes say pound cakes can have a mind of their own. You do everything right and then something still goes wrong. If that happens, don't allow it to discourage you. Just keep baking, okay? So we're going to add these eggs one at a time. I'm going to turn the mixer down, and then you'll see me start adding this flour. I'll add a little bit and let it mix. I'm not trying to get the batter silky smooth. I'll only mix just for a few seconds, and then I'll start adding some more flour, okay? In the meantime, I have also opened up this can of cherries. Look how cherry it is. I did not mention, you guys, make sure you wash off the tops of these cans. The tops of these cans are filthy nasty. Just this. Terrible. They're terrible, okay? They've been on the back of these tractor trailer trucks. Then when they get to the grocery store or the warehouse, they back there with all them rodents and insects licking all on the tops of the cans. And then you have folk that work there, they're going to come and pick them up with their nasty hands. Wash them off. Warm, hot soap water. Like you're washing dishes. Wash them off real good, okay? All right, I want to tell you that before I forget. Okay, I'm going to start adding these eggs. And then we're going to finish getting this cake mixed up so we can get it poured and get it baked. Also, whenever you're adding your flour, you'll need to stop, you know, a time or two as well to scrape down the sides of your bowl. That way you can make sure you get all of that flour mixed in, okay? I have thoroughly sprayed my cake pan with Baker's Joy. And I want to add a little bit of the cake batter before I start adding the cherry pie filling. You want to be careful because first you don't want to add too much of the pie filling. You know, you don't want to make your batter really wet. Okay. Oh, y'all always know I talk about how heavy this mixing bowl is. So I'm going to start by kind of just taking out some of the cherries and, you know, trying to kind of place them where I want them without, you know, I guess kind of doing the most. I'm also trying to make sure that I don't get it close to the tube, okay? And I want a little bit of the gel from the pie filling, but you know, again, like I said, not to overdo it. just gonna smooth it out, try to get it level. Get your batter as level as possible. And I know those cherries are gonna sink some, it's just to be expected. I don't care what I do. I think even when I add flour, and I couldn't add flour to that because it would make the, it would just make it too gummy. But even when I add flour, y'all, I'm gonna tap it lightly to release the air bubbles. When I add flour, it still sinks. Okay, we're going in 325. I bake my cakes on the middle rack in my oven. I just adjust my racks to where there's one that's in the middle. Girl, you all up in the camera. A little bit better. I adjust my racks to where there's one of the racks that's in the middle of the oven. And then that's where I place my cake, okay? So we're gonna start with an hour and 15 minutes. But I'll let you know exactly how long it baked once I take it out. We've been baking about an hour and 20 minutes. But per usual, baking time is going to depend on your oven. So now I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes because we're going to let it cool for at least 10 minutes before we flip it. And in the meantime, I'm going to make my very quick glaze. I always do my glaze by hand. Never use a mixer because it's just, for me, it's just not necessary. I get a real good arm workout. So if I were to try to give you measurements, because, you know, I usually just kind of make my glaze based on how it feels. If I were to give you measurements, I would say start with about 2 cups of powdered sugar. And then maybe about 2 tablespoons of whatever liquid you're using, be it milk, be it coffee creamer, be it heavy whipping cream. And what you want to do is start with just a little bit first, because you don't want to add too much liquid at one time, because if you ever add too much liquid, you can't get it out. All right. So you want to start with just a little bit of liquid at a time. And I like for my glaze to be, I'm a glaze girl, so I like my glaze rather thick. And I'm also going to add a little bit of my Creme Bouquet. I didn't want to add any more almond. You can add almond, you can add vanilla, whatever flavor you want in your glaze. Add just a little bit. I'm going to add my milk. Again, we're going to start slow. I like for it to be extra thick in the beginning because it helps me be able to get it smooth easier. And see, this is too thick. I can't really stir too much, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. When I say a little bit, you guys, I mean just a little bit at a time. Because once you get it in, you can't get it out. Okay. Now we're good. And with it being kind of thick, it allows me to just stir and get all of those little powdered sugar lumps out. Like I said, a great arm workout. And we just stir, stir, stir. Now this is extra thick. Look at that. See how thick that is? Extra thick. So we're just going to keep stirring, 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 stirring. And just that easy and that quick, we have glaze. Okay? Now if I wanted a little thinner, all I have to do is just add just a little bit more milk. Okay? So now we'll let this sit. We'll let the cake continue to cool, and then we will flip it in just a few minutes. All right, we are flipping. Isn't that pretty? Y'all see those cherries? Look at there. Ooh-wee. Now, we still need to cool some more, but I do want to go on and add, I want to add some of this cherry pie filling to the top of the cake while it's warm. I don't want to add my glaze yet because the glaze will run off because it is too hot. But I do want to add some of, I want to add this cherry pie filling while the cake is still warm. Want to be real intentional about that. It's just this simple. We're just going to add it on the top. And when I'm ready to glaze it, I'm just going to go over. Now I'm going to move some of these cherries out of my way because I'm trying to make sure I get like a layer of the glaze, okay? So I'm just trying to kind of move these cherries out of my way. And this is all I'm doing. And like I said, I'm doing this because the cake is still hot, and I'm like wanting the glaze to kind of soak in. All right. And I'm just going to keep adding cherries until I feel like I have enough, or it looks the way I want it to look. You don't have to have this many cherries if you prefer not to. It's whatever you like. I always encourage you all to, you know, make it your own. Do your own thing, you know. Just trying to kind of give you guys maybe like a foundation, but just, you know, I know the measurements have to be precise, but as it pertains to how you decorate, or you know, what you want your cake to look like with the glaze or the icing, that's left up to you. So I'll just keep adding cherries. I think I have enough. And then we'll just let the cake continue to cool. And once it's cooled enough, then I'll come back and add my glaze. Alright, now this is what we're looking like before I add my glaze. Here's the consistency of my glaze now. And after you let it sit for a while, like I said, if it thickens up a little bit, just add just a little drop more of whatever liquid you used when you were making your glaze. So I think I want just a little color in my glaze. I don't want a whole lot. I'm not trying to color. I want kind of like little streaks. So I have a little bit of this liquid. I don't even know what kind of food coloring it is. Maybe something I got from Walmart or something. But anyway, it's liquidy. It's not the gel, which means I can only, it will allow me to put like just a little drop because I don't want it mixed up. If I do a gel, I'm going to have to mix it. I don't want to mix it. I want to be able to just kind of, you know, move the glaze around and kind of give me a little streak of, you know, red or pink here and there. Does that make sense, y'all? So let's see what we come up with. I want just a little smidget. I really don't want to have to do. Ooh, I'm scared to squeeze it too much. I want just a, ooh, okay. So let me start with those 2 drops. And like I said, I really don't want to, I don't want to stir it, okay? I just kind of wanted a little streak of red here and there. And that's all I'm going to do. That's all I wanted to do, you guys. Oh, and also, y'all look, I had just a little bit of the cherries left. And I'm not going to put those on there. I know some people feel like, just use them all. But no, I'm good. I don't feel like I have to use all of it. All right. So now we're just going to glaze. Cream cheese, cherry almond pound cake. Sounds like a little red.
What's this, a cherry?
I feel like I want to use my big knife. It's his time.
It looks like...
It's a big knife, ain't it, baby? Looks like what?
You know how y'all guys ever ate like the lemon head? No, not the lemon heads, like the cherry heads. Yeah, cherry heads. Or grape heads. You know the candy like the grape or the lemon or cherry. It's like
I used to like the Alexander grape heads.
Yeah, so this look like a cherry head. It look like it. Is these cherries?
No, they grapes. Now,
I can see the grapes.
I cut a wide piece, but you don't have to eat. Get your fork because you don't want the pretty one, right?
I don't want no pretty fork. You can't eat right with a pretty fork. You need an ugly fork so you know you're finna do some business.
I was trying to get it where you can see the
See what? I can see it, man. I see it.
I
see it. What am I looking for?
You see where
What am I looking for? I can see it.
with me spreading the
You look, you did a good job.
trying to get close. The pie filling on top. I think it kind of like soaked down a little bit.
It did. It's soaked. Let me see, can I unsoak it?
Oh. Did you say you blessed?
I did. I said I'm blessed. What do you got in here,
What
though?
is this? Fruit snacks?
Yeah, fruit snacks. I left them alone. I don't eat kids'
You
sweets.
better get that red shirt stuff on that white shirt.
Oh, no.
Is that good? What'd you
Can I
take?
taste cream cheese?
Whatever. You think he be trying to act like he know? He don't know.
Guys, I'm a professional at this now, people. Watch this.
Wait a minute, back up, babe. You too close to the
They don't tell me
camera.
what to do, Donna. They don't tell me what to do. None of them. They don't tell me
Baby,
what
it's cutting off your head.
Donna, I'm taller. I'm taller,
Would you move, please, so I get this red stuff all on your white shirt?
So you put that on my red and white shirt?
Wait a minute, let me taste it.
You got a
What is
whole
you,
cake.
babe? Sir, I don't need you to give me my piece. That's what I don't need. Listen.
God almighty, it's moist.
Is it? Is it good? I'm gonna taste that part up there. With
God, Lord, it's moist. Now that is a moist cake. What is this?
It's a
Gracious.
cream cheese,
I told you, I taste cream cheese. I'm such an expert at this now.
cherry almond pound cake. You taste the almond now that I mention it? Look, y'all.
I taste the good.
Can you see? I'm trying to show y'all where that
Right?
high feeling kind of soaking through the
That's
top.
right here is so
Can y'all see that? Where it's kind of soaking through the top? Right up under. Like right up under here. The outside layer. Y'all see that? And I think it helped because I put it on while it was hot. And I know some of you probably thought, well, Miss Donna, why don't you poke holes in the cake? I ain't want to do that. But I still think it caused it to soak through some. Y'all, this pretty. And you see how the glaze, because at first, to me, the glaze was looking more like a pepperminty, but the cake was still a little warm. And you see
This
how
is
it
good.
looks. It almost looked like it's, you can't really see the white as much. Y'all know what I'm trying to say? It looks different, a little different, because it's more settled now than when I first put it on there. Are you gonna move over, honey? To the right? I mean, look, come back a little bit.
You know, this is very good. Not just like the...
I'm not really trying to do my thumbnail. He's really talking, so if his mouth is open on the thumbnail, then too bad.
Let me say, this is very good cake. And so, I would recommend a nice coffee.
Be quiet. You don't even
Nice,
drink coffee.
I know. I don't. I'm recommending it for them.
Drink some water.
A nice coffee.
Some
you can have
water.
water. Nice water.
It's pretty, y'all.
A nice a beverage, not an adult beverage. You don't need no adult beverages. So you need a. This is well, you can just take the juice out of the cake because there's plenty of it. It's moist.
That's that cream cheese. Yeah, that's good. So I guess your folk at work gonna have some cake tomorrow. It's been a minute. Yeah, I was in the mood for a pound cake, y'all. It's been a minute since we had a pound cake. So
I took off one of the, this is so doggone good.
is it? What? What? You are so extra. Some things never change. Still don't want to share. I don't want that big cherry because I'm not a big cherry eater.
I don't eat cherries.
We can't tell. And then the outside of it kind of has that little, almost like a cookie coating. That's good. It's different too.
It seems like it's been a long time since we had them.
It has been a long time since I've done a pound cake. So I was ready. A long time, baby. Listen, if you guys enjoyed the video, oh, one more thing. Do you all realize I didn't use baking powder? It has Creme Bouquet in it. I didn't use baking powder. I think I got a recipe long time ago for a pound cake where I used cake flour and used baking powder. But I didn't use it this time. And I think you get so used to. I've been wanting to try it because if you look at some of the recipes on the back of the why you go over there so you can lick the plate? Why you go, y'all? You know why you walk on camera to lick the plate? You was, hey, y'all can tell he licked it. Look, you are funny. But the recipes on the back of the cake flour, it doesn't call for baking powder, so I didn't use it this time. I think you get so used to doing something like me. Sometimes I'm afraid to not do it, but anyway, didn't need baking powder.
I wasn't afraid to try it, and it was worth trying.
So that was good. It was different, but it's good. Because I don't usually do as much almond in a cake, but that's good.
No, it really is good, people. It's good. So you guys need to try it. It's been a minute since we pound caked you guys, and that's what we do. We pound cake them. Y'all, yeah.
Extra. If you enjoyed the video,
hit the
please
nosy.
give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing.
That's hit the nosy.
Turning on the notification bell. That's that hitting the nosy. That way you'll be notified whenever we're doing whatever it is we're doing over here, okay? Well, y'all, until next time, is that everything I meant to tell you all? I think it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I already look forward to you.
If you guys work with me, I will give you a piece.
Next time, if they work, what?
If they work with me, I will give them a piece. But Donna, I don't know.
You don't give everybody a piece.
But the ones I know.
Anyway, so for those of you that don't know, they, you know, sometimes we get questions, what y'all do with all that cake? He cuts the cake up and takes it to work, and we just give it away. Sometimes our daughter, she'll come by and get some. and take to work. But most of the time he be tripping like he can't shit. See,
right.
he be acting like he came in here and made a cake or did something. He don't run, listen, you don't run up at your mouth. You ain't cooked not nan cake.
I watched you cook it.
You ain't mixed not nan egg. No, you didn't. You weren't even here.
Okay, I wasn't at work, but I saw you get the ingredients out.
You did not. You weren't here.
No, you right. I wasn't there. I didn't do that.
You may have saw. Maybe you saw the butter and the eggs out. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. We already look forward to you joining us again next time.
And keep shaking something. Keep shaking something. Keep shaking something. Keep shaking something. Just shake it. Shake
Bye,
it.
y'all.
Shake it.
Bye.